exactly who you are.
It's time for Blumpkin and Friends, starring your host, the Reverend Johnny Blumpkin.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Welcome to another exciting BWO WrestleCast. I am your host, the Reverend Johnny Blumpkin. Sitting next to me today is my friend,
Rick James.
It's been a while since we've done a WrestleCast, and I've been waiting a while to talk about a few things. Mainly, we'll just hit some finer bullet points here. Royal Rumble. I was cool with Drew McIntyre winning it. I thought that was the right move. However, with the women's match, they built up Shayna Baszler for so long, and then she loses to fucking Charlotte Flair, and I thought, oh, you just kind of destroyed the momentum. And then they gave her the consolation title match against Becky Lynch.
It's funny because Becky Lynch is the man, but Charlotte is like the John Cena in that they are not afraid to dump as many accolades on top, like winning all these titles. And like, yeah, she didn't need it. How many times has she had a meaningless title reign? Like just last year, she beat Bayley on the pay-per-view, and then Friday night, lost it back to Bayley because Bayley cut her hair and got a new attitude.
And murdered all those wacky waving arm inflatable flailing two-mans?
I don't even know if she's been charged with any crimes yet from that. That was a horrific event. Part of it's kind of showed up too because they're not giving up on Shayna Baszler, but she's definitely, they said they soured on her.
Which is dumb.
Yeah, it's very dumb because she was a dominant force in NXT for a long time there.
She held that title for how long?
Yeah.
Was she the longest reigning women's champion?
No, I think it might have been Asuka because she lost it to what's her name? The one from the Kabuki Warriors that I really like, Kairi Sane. She lost it to Kairi Sane.
Did she?
Yeah, in the middle.
Huh.
Then she got it back like a month later or something.
That's very interesting. And then, of course, the coronavirus happened, and we wouldn't have the usual build-up to WrestleMania. I mean, it would feel like, oh, everybody's getting their matches set up. And then Charlotte Flair challenged and successfully won the NXT Women's title from one of my favorites, Rhea Ripley.
Did this whole problem with their visa thing come up? Was that real or was that
I think that's just a fucking bullshit alibi.
Yeah.
I don't know how you have a worker that is your champion and you don't make sure her visa's in order.
They didn't take the title off her because of that. That'd just be explaining why she's not going to be on TV for a little bit. They took the title off her because they're getting their ass kicked in ratings on Wednesday night, and they think Charlotte's going to help out with the ratings.
She's not.
No. Well, unfortunately right now, even though wrestling's some of the only original programming getting put on TV, the ratings aren't going good for anyone.
No, and I think even if things were normal, it wouldn't be the boost that they would hope for because people are so sick of Charlotte just getting titles thrown at her left, right, and sideways.
It's like John Cena.
Drew McIntyre, on the other hand, winning it from Brock Lesnar, both put the title on somebody new and interesting and got Brock Lesnar the fuck off of TV.
Yeah.
Clap.
It was a good move. The only problem was, for a lot of it, is it's a shame that it doesn't happen in front of a live crowd because that was a quick match. That's what they care about these days in the WWE. They want to put big names, pay big bucks, go in there. We don't want to see a long wrestling match. Just hit a couple of moves, get the crowd into it, and then everyone's happy with the finish, which would have been fine for a big crowd, but they don't get to do that because...
Right. Corona!
They had about 69,990 too many people would have been in the stadium to see it.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Most likely. We didn't get to see the Cruiserweight Championship defended by Jordan Devlin. Nobody probably knows who he is unless you're a diehard. Let me just tell you about Jordan Devlin. He's another Irish guy, and he basically looks like Finn Balor's twin brother that has autism. My first time seeing him, we watched TakeOver, whatever TakeOver was at Portland, that was after the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
And we're watching that, I'm like, this guy looks like a fucking mutant. What is wrong with his face?
He's like a bobblehead. His head's just that big.
It's oddly shaped. His mother must have had a very narrow birth canal. Or maybe she was like doing Kegels to try to keep him inside longer. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting that all that's going on too. And I don't know if you watch the recent episode, but they announced their tournament, and it's funny that like Drake Maverick's in the tournament, and he's going to compete through the tournament.
Right.
Did John, have you heard the rules of it?
It's a point system. They're
It's
ripping
two-
off
yeah,
basically New Japan.
Yeah, yep, exactly. They're ripping off the G1 Climax because they've got 2 groups of 4, Group A and Group B, and you fight everybody in the group. And they said if there's a tie goes to head to head.
They're having to do all this unorthodox shit because the reason that Jordan Devlin can't defend the title is because of travel restrictions. He couldn't fucking get back to America. He's on the NXT UK brand. And then the guy that had the belt not too long before him, Leo Rush, who had lost it to Angel Garza. Well, Garza's now on Raw, and Leo Rush just got fired the other day along with Drake Maverick. And it's like, Leo Rush got fucking let go? He was a cruiserweight champion not that long ago.
Yeah, well.
We're living in bizarro times to be a wrestling fan because a lot of the shit that they had planned, like with AEW, with the Blood and Guts match, they had storylines building up to it. Who's going to be your 5th person to take on the Inner Circle Elite? And ends up being Matt Hardy with his debut. Well, then they have to shelve the fucking Blood and Guts match because of attendance restrictions and how many people they can have gather in a place at once. Well, it's 10 guys plus a ref plus your camera crew. So unless you're going to operate your cameras fucking remotely, which would be weird, but they could have probably done it. So they abandoned that, and then they come out with this new fucking TNT Championship to honor the network, but to have a mid-card title, and now they're having a tournament for that shit.
Which I'm not a fan of. Is Cody going to end up with the title?
I don't know.
Do you think it's not? You don't know?
You don't want to put it on Lance Archer right out of the gate, do you?
I don't think so. I mean, a lot of us know who he is, and he's a badass. But you know, I'm curious to see how these guys fit in because they've got a roster that is a smaller roster, very athletic, move around the ring, and then these big guys they're bringing in are good, but I don't know how a match between Lance Archer and Darby Allin's going to go.
Right. Well, I know how it's going to go. Darby's going to look like he's being murdered, and then he's going to nail a coffin drop.
Yeah.
But then they're going to probably, give it to Lance Archer anyway.
We'll see. It's interesting. I don't mind it. They were going to come up with a mid-card title eventually anyways, so.
Yeah. And the funny thing is it's clear that Cody's going to win because he said he was not going to compete for the AEW Championship anymore when he lost to Jericho, thanks to MJF with the screw job throwing the towel. And now he's got a title he can compete for. And Lance Archer came there with his figurehead mouthpiece there, Jake the Snake Roberts, who was saying, we came here to take a piece of the pie, your piece of the pie. And we're going to do that, Cody. We don't want to screw everybody else over. Just you. And I'm like, why has everybody got a hard-on for fucking Cody over? And just why? Because his dad was Dusty Rhodes? It's not have every major storyline of a new person coming in revolve around Cody, like Butcher and the Blade did.
It's tough. I've said it too. I'm not the biggest Cody fan. I respect the hell out of him. He's extremely talented. I enjoy watching him, but never kind of liked how all these guys like the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega work their ass up to get around the world, and then he kind of jumps in and says, hey, we're all equal. And it's like, I know he's got a lot of influence, he's got a lot of history and all that, but those guys had to scratch and claw to get where they did. And Cody, obviously, the
name helped.
Extremely talented. He was a high school champion. The second he said, I want to get into wrestling, he's training with the WWE. I don't think he's never wrestled out of the WWE until he started up right after he left, but we'll see. I just wonder if it would have been better in the way that he will eventually get the title is if they would have gone the total nonstop action route where Jeff Jarrett is immediately given everything, and that was kind of what seemed like they went with on TV, and then he was the champion. He was the heel champion. And I would think that would have been the route to go with Cody in AEW. And if when he does get the title, that's the way they're going to go. He's going to be better served as a heel, having the title in his first reign than a face.
Maybe.
Yeah, he doesn't have to actually be a heel. I mean, he'd be going against his word, but they can work around that and build him still as a face and say he's still getting another opportunity or whatever. But
it's not his fault. MJF fucked him over.
Yeah, which it sucks that he's not on TV.
Oh, did you hear? He put out a tweet the other day that something terrible happened to him, and then there was a follow-up tweet today where he admitted he's injured and he might need surgery. So he's had elbow trouble in the past, and they're hoping it's not another elbow issue.
Oh, yeah.
Which sucks, because He recently, and I think this is why they did it, he had left MLW. But then he did more matches with them, and a few weeks ago, they broadcast the match, Empty Arena, Mance Warner versus MJF, loser leaves MLW. Well, MJF lost.
What the hell was that?
And then Wardlow, his little bodyguard, butt buddy, that once again somebody brought in that immediately had an issue with Cody because MJF paid him to have a problem with Cody.
Yeah.
And then they had that fucking cage match with the 20-foot high cage or whatever it was that Cody did a moonsault off of and somehow only ended up breaking a toe.
Ta-da!
And then Wardlow's just kind of floating around like a turd in the punch bowl. Nobody knows what to do with him, so now they're just feeding him squash matches and nobodies. That's the biggest thing right now that is bugging me about wrestling. Not Black Wednesday recently when WWE canned all those people. So all that, like I was saying, the worst part about this is to have enough material for TV, they're bringing in these indie wrestlers, which if it wasn't what was going on right now, I'd be like, awesome. But when you bring in somebody that I don't know, I already know what the end result's going to be. I know Wardlow's going to squash somebody. I know Kip Sabian's going to beat Shug D. I know all these people are going to fucking lose. And if you watch Being the Elite, they've had matches on there. You know that Team High Risk is going to lose to the Young Bucks. It sucks. The worst part is trying to figure out these empty arena matches that make it awkward for NXT, which I don't even know if a crowd could have saved that fucking Ciampa Gargano mess. They're just struggling to come up with material.
Well, there's a lot I'd like to talk about here quickly now.
Go on.
No, I don't have a problem with them bringing up these jobbers on the show because right now there's nowhere for them to work. So the fact that they get to just work is good. Even if they're gonna they're gonna lose, at least they're getting to work because a lot of those guys there's nowhere you can work right now. And there's a lot of the wrestlers that did get let go that I think are going to be, this isn't so bad. Like Drake Maverick, as I pointed out, when they announced he was going to be in the Cruiserweight tournament, they said he's got a lot to prove. If you know what's going to happen recently, so they didn't address it. He got released, and I don't know if you talk about other radio shows on this show, but I listen to Busted Open Radio, and Bully Ray was saying like Drake Maverick is going to be he had like 2.1 million views as of a couple days ago when
he did the video.
Yeah, and the video. And they said he's getting a lot of attention, good attention, so he's going to be fine. And I think it was Eric Young came out and said that he's going to undo a lot of the wrongs that he's made over the past couple of years, basically admitting that going to WWE was a mistake, and he's going to fix his career.
So he's going to go back to Impact, I hope?
Well, anywhere he goes is good because he was extremely talented. He could do a lot of different roles, as shown over the years in Impact. And then I think Dianna Perazzo said the same thing. I thought maybe I was misreading what she said, but she said
something about the last year and a half has been
a struggle of what she's really wanted, which is to get out because she's sick of waiting because she's really talented. She's an amazing wrestler. And
I wonder where she'll go, Marty Skrull's girlfriend.
Yeah,
and he's now one of the co-bookers
so
of Ring of Honor.
I don't think it's so bad. I think you can say whatever you want about all these wrestlers being released, but no one was getting used that we got let go, or
EC3 especially stands to only grow from this.
Yeah, because I don't know how old he is, but he can't be that old. He's still got to have a lot of good years left, and he got screwed over when they were struggling on the main roster, and someone came up with the idea like, let's just shove a bunch of talent from NXT up to the main roster, and he got roped in as one of them, and then no one ever got used out of that group other than I think Heavy Machinery and the military gal on SmackDown, Lacey Evans. All the other ones I don't even remember who they all were, but they all were wasted, and he was wasted. If he had time in NXT, I think he would have had a lot more success.
Was that right before they moved up Ricochet, Aleister Black?
It was right before that.
Gargano and
so
Ciampa?
That's what happened. Actually, is
Ciampa got hurt.
They were going to show up. They were going to bring all these talent up there, and then they realized there wasn't enough buzz behind any of them, and none of them were really going to work. And then they decided, okay, now we're going to take the real talent, which was 4 of the most talented wrestlers on the roster, and they shoved them up. And yeah, unfortunately, the Ciampa injury changed a lot of that, but for the better, I think. Because Gargano and Ciampa got to stay, and now they're fixed on there, and they're progressing forward, and they're in different directions. And Ricochet, it's a damn shame what's happened with him, but hopefully
He looked like he was on this stellar trajectory, and then they just fucking
yeah.
ruined him with Brock Lesnar overseas. Just, what was that, like a 5-second match?
Yeah.
It was almost as bad as Kofi Kingston losing the title in 12 seconds, and then Cain Velasquez comes out, and the whole loss was just so Brock had waved the fucking title at Cain Velasquez.
Yeah.
A lot of missteps for WWE in the last year.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens. I still, think they're trying. Now, what's going to be interesting to see is that they're with this new Money in the Bank stipulation coming up.
Yeah, they did it on the roof.
They're doing it. They said that they're going to start the match on the ground and then they're going to go through the building to get up to the roof.
It sounds like an episode of WCW from 1999.
The Triple Cage.
For fuck's sakes.
No, it's what's going to happen because it looks like it might be a long time before they can do anything in front of a crowd. So now they're going to probably hammer down on all these other matches. Like I said, I know I'd heard isn't AEW going to do Jericho versus Matt Hardy at the Hardy compound, which
something like that
sounds fantastic. I can't wait for that. And, obviously WWE tried some different shit over the WrestleMania weekend, and now having this Money in the Bank thing, yeah, sure. But, I guess I don't know. Maybe I would rather have just a traditional match, but...
They're trying way too much out there shit to stay relevant and seem cool. Like the John Cena, Bray Wyatt thing. What a fucking train wreck that was. The graveyard match between... American Badass, Undertaker, and AJ Styles and the Good Brothers showed up, and then they got buried by the Undertaker, didn't they? And then AJ got physically buried by the Undertaker.
Yeah.
Hi, it's the body. Is your feather boa not as fluffy as it used to be? Wink, wink. Huh? I'm here to talk about Blue Chew Chewables. I don't know, these little blue candy things that help you get a boner. And, they have the same ingredients as Viagra. And it comes in discreet packaging, so your neighbors don't know that you're not as much of a man anymore. For just $20 a month, you can join their club, and they'll send you pills that'll make you into a sexual tyrannosaurus, just like me. Use them, and you'll be as much of a man as I was in my film Abraxas, Guardian of the Universe. It's an actual movie. Fucking look it up. Did not get very good reviews, and it's more of like a cult film than a Hollywood classic. So, in closing, just go to BlueChew.com to get your boner pills. It'll make your pee-pee hard again, and your wife will stop feeling sexually unfulfilled and wishing that you were an entire team of Filipino soccer players all taking turns on her.
Have you run afoul of the law? Then call Gilberg Bail Bonds.
Hi, I'm Dwayne, but you may know me as former WWF Light Heavyweight Champion, Gilberg. That's right, I'm Gilberg, and I'm here to help you get out of jail. I'm willing to personally spend up to $200 of my own money to prove to the courts that you're not a threat to society. We're a highly unsuccessful bail bonding company that works with people accused of such crimes as DWI, theft, loitering, public urination, and serial mopery.
Call 800-500-BAIL. That's 800-500-2245. Let Gilberg Bail Bonds help you regain your freedom.
Gilberg Bail Bonds is a subsidiary of Job Squad LLC.
You're listening to Blumpkin and Friends.
Well, the one thing that was coming up was the next AEW pay-per-view, All In, which our friend Bobby Murderface had tickets to. He was going to Vegas for that fucking show, and now he can't.
That sucks.
I haven't talked to him about that. He's got to be really bummed out. No air travel and no pay-per-view.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd have been sweet. That'd have been really cool. And it might be a long time, so what are they going to do? I know that it sounds as if AEW is going to, I would imagine, go back to Florida where they were shooting that first episode.
Yes, let's just cover this for a second. They told everybody they couldn't do any wrestling, and they actually dispatched law enforcement to the WWE Performance Center, and then Linda McMahon announced that they were donating $18.5 million to a super PAC to get Trump reelected. And then the next day that the governor of Florida ruled that WWE and wrestling was essential. Now it's like, hey, everybody, you can go run shows in Florida. And AEW is based in Jacksonville. That's fine. Ring of Honor said they're not going to do it. MLW, Court Bauer said, no, that's ridiculous. Just to keep it going, I want to do shows. I want to make money too, but I'm not going to put my workers and my crew and their families at risk of catching this shit. So no, I'm not going to do it. He thinks it's greedy of McMahon. He's got to keep it going. He's got way too big of a company to just fucking sit on his hands.
No one's doing anything. They're all freaking running and hiding at home. At least they're freaking trying. So I'm glad that they're out there trying. I want to see this stuff, and I don't think it's greedy. I think it's right. And you know what? When they said WWE's essential, well, guess what? If fucking CNN and Fox News is essential, the shit they're spooning on there, then the WWE should be considered essential too.
I agree. And they're testing people. They're being responsible. AEW is trying to be as responsible as they can. They're not bringing in talent from hotbed zones like California and New York. And part of that is the Young Bucks and SCU. They were doing stuff on Being the Elite, but Colt Cabana's been on TV. Everybody's taping extra matches. AEW's got enough material to get through the middle of May, and it sounds like MLW's got enough shit to make through till July, which is incredible. They're currently doing the Super Series with AAA. It'd just be interesting to see where these things go as they're trying to readjust on the fly. And now that they can go back to Florida, maybe we'll finally get the AEW Blood and Guts match.
I mean, they might have to just do it because it sounds like it's going to be a while till you can get a crowd. And I'm kind of curious if you even get a small crowd. You know,
probably not.
I'm wondering.
You know who it's hurting? You talked about the indies. Like locally, Eric Cannon's First Wrestling had to start canceling shows.
Yeah,
which sucks because he was really starting to run 1 or 2 shows per month. I mean, he used to only do like 1 a year.
Yeah.
And then it went to 2 days back to back. And then he started running all kinds of shows. And it was really gaining steam. And I feel terrible because he would bring in lots of fun talent. And when we're talking about people, who do you love? Danhausen. Do you know Danhausen?
Yes, I've seen him on ROH TV recently several times.
Okay. So Danhausen's gimmick is he comes to the ring and he's got a jar of teeth, right?
Yeah.
And he, at some point, will grab the opponent around the head, open the jar and sprinkle teeth in their mouth, hit the ropes, drop kick them, they'll spit the teeth. I don't know how long Danhausen's been doing it. What is that?
That is a jar of teeth.
That is a UA cup from years ago when I worked at the jail. That cup is probably 7 or 8 years old. Those are my wisdom teeth. I connect with Danhausen on so many levels. The theatrics, the staying in character all the time. If I was a wrestler, I appreciate the art, but how funny that I have right here. These are my wisdom teeth, dude. I also have pill bottles with the kids' teeth from the Tooth Fairy. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but I just have jars of teeth, I guess.
That's weird.
I watched an interview where some lady asked him about the teeth. He's like, "Where do you think? In the mail? The store, the teeth store?" She's like, "The teeth store?" He's like, "Why do you say it like it's not, like you've never heard of this?"
Yeah, I'll have to check out some of his interviews. I've seen him on ROH though a lot lately, and he's.
You mean Ring of Hausen?
Yes, of course.
I watched a small match from last Halloween. I don't even know what fed it was. I think it was like
Bizarro Lucha from Indianapolis, Indiana.
And he wrestled these 2 guys, and he came out to Stone Cold's music and had a bald cap on and the vest. He was Cold Teeth Steve Ostenhausen for that match. It was a casket match. It was so fucking good. I love what that guy's doing, and people like that get to come to First Wrestling. Orange Cassidy. He brings in legends. Great Sasuke. He brought in fucking David Arquette. He brings in Colt Cabana. He's brought in Shane Strickland multiple times. DJZ. I wish things were normal so we could get more First Wrestling shows because it's summer and I wanted to start going to more shows.
It's a blast. I love them. I've told you many times how I miss going to the ROH shows. I wish AEW would come here whenever they do tour.
Sounded
again.
like we were getting there towards summertime. We were going to be hopefully getting a date.
Yeah, it'd have been awesome, but you know it's going to be a while.
Yeah.
It's going to be a while, unfortunately. I'm probably more optimistic in the fact that they're going to figure out a way to do shows, get sports fans and sports events if they do something where like they, sell tickets in every other row and then they have gaps in between, people. But even then, you're still having lots of problems with, people crossing each other when they're getting under the seats, and the concession stands are going to be tough and just, it's a lot of work, but I'd rather...
Well, look at the NXT show with the people that were walking around by the food concessions and going to the bathroom.
Like what if they get back to the point where they said no gatherings of groups of 50? You think they would... They think they would... AEW and WWE are going to do shows if they might have like 30, 40 people in the crowd spread out just to have a little bit of noise?
Well, we've talked about this. I said what you should do is if you're going to do it in a smaller room, like at the Performance Center... Get cardboard cutouts of people and just put them in the seats. And then pipe in crowd noise. And it's obvious what you're doing, but it's funny as hell.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
I've said it many times, too. I'm glad that they got 5-10 people outside of the ring on their shows just to make a little noise. Just that helps me get into it a little bit more. It tastes a little bit better.
Yeah.
WWE hasn't done that, and if they did, they'd be copying AEW, which I'd be like, whatever, but they're not going to do that, and we'll just have to wait and see. It's life as we know it for now.
Hi, it's the Body, and you're listening to Blumpkin and Friends.
Are you ready to end the show with some fun? Would you like to have some fun?
Might as well.
Okay. Well, we're going to play a couple games of Fuck, Marry, Kill.
Fuck, marry, kill.
Pick 3 people. You got to fuck one, marry one, kill one.
Okay.
Obviously. So here's the deal. I'm going to read some names, and then you're going to tell me what you would do. Fuck, marry, kill. Kairi Sane, Asuka, Io Shirai.
See, now we've talked about this one before. I've told you I've got a massive thing for Kairi Sane, so she's definitely the one that I guess in this instance I would marry because I would want to be around her more. But I think it would be I don't know. Fuck Asuka because she's crazy. Well, no, Io Shirai's pretty crazy too. I'll go with fuck Io Shirai and I'll just kill Asuka, which is a damn shame because she's a talented wrestler.
Lunchbox went with kill Kairi Sane, fuck Asuka, and marry Io.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, I would do the same thing.
Well,
because Kairi Sane's eyes are fucked up, and I got a big thing for Io Shirai.
Swing!
Okay, sticking with Asian females, this time we're going to AEW. Fuck, marry, kill. Riho, Hikaru Shida, Emi Sakura.
Emi Sakura is old. If you can kill her, and Cheetah I have a thing for, so let's say I guess I'll marry her and I'll just fuck Rio. I don't know if I might break her or she might die at the end of it anyways.
It's funny because you and I, Lunchbox, are in full agreement here. Fuck Riho, marry Hikaru Shida, kill Emi Sakura.
Yeah.
Isn't that strange? Okay, so fuck, marry, kill. Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Bayley.
Let's see. Kill Charlotte.
Ooh.
Fuck Bayley and marry Becky.
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to kill Becky Lynch because she's sullied with the stains of Seth Rollins' manhood.
Yeah.
I'm going to fuck Charlotte Flair, but I'm going to do it with her face down in a pillow because I'm not going to enjoy it because of that fucking chin mole and her weird tits. And then I'm going to marry Bayley because she just needs a hug. She used to be really cool. She needs a hug.
No, Becky, I've been a big fan of hers. I think she's one of the hottest ones. I know she's got Tyler Black all over her, but...
Once you go black, you never go back.
Yeah, I see. I used to really like her, and then when she got in a relationship with Seth Rollins, I was like, nope, I can't picture you with him and then still toss one off to you. Same thing happened to me when I found out that Dianna Perazzo was dating Marty Scurll. I just thought about him wearing a crow mask and fucking her doggy style. I'm like, nope, that ruins it, sorry. Plus, she put on a bunch of weight now. She's more like Diona Perfazzo, which is rude of me to say and insensitive. So let's just fuck, marry, kill. Gene Snitsky, Lars Sullivan, Nathan Jones. You got to gay it up at some point here.
Let's go with Mary Gene Snitsky, because that would be fun.
That'd be fun. I don't know if those are the words I would use.
Fuck Nathan Jones, and I'll kill Lars Sullivan. I don't want to. He'd enjoy any of that. And I don't want to be part of that.
See, I would kill Lars Sullivan because he's so fucking messed up. When he was the homophobe, calling everybody faggots on the internet, and then it turns out that he did some gay porn back in the day, which is really creepy.
He's always forever tainted to me.
I could never drink A&W root beer again after seeing that video of him getting blown by that guy. All I gotta say is if they ever bring Lars Sullivan back to television and somebody gets in a feud with him, use the line once when you're on camera, say, I'm having a good time so far, let's see where things go. Because that's what he said to the guy. Anyways, so you kill Lars Sullivan, you fuck Snitsky, but you're not going to enjoy it. And that is his fault that you're not going to enjoy it. And then I would marry Nathan Jones because he's been away for a while, but he's an actor. He's got the financial security. Those other two are fucked. Nathan Jones can still act. And then lastly, did you watch the show Glow? Have you watched it on Netflix?
That's the actual scripted drama show with Allison Brie, right?
Yes.
I haven't watched it, but I like, she's hot.
Okay, so Awesome Kong is in that show.
Okay.
And she plays a character, Welfare Queen. Now, a lot of the girls, they're playing off their ethnicity because it's a period piece of when they did this in the 80s, when you get away with that shit. So when she came back to AEW, I was a little worried. Like, is the crowd going to start chanting Welfare Queen to acknowledge that they're a fan of the show? And if they are, you're chanting Welfare Queen at a black woman on televised events. People that are not familiar with any of this are going to be like, that's so insensitive. How dare you chant that at a woman of color? She's proud and she works hard and blah, blah, blah. No. It's a character from a show. That's their character.
You know she would greatly appreciate it too.
Yeah.
She gets it. She'd be like, okay, they're fans.
I just think there's a lot of room for unfortunate happenstance to turn into cancel culture bullshit.
Let's keep Joey Ryan and Rob Van Dam out of this.
Yeah, well, I'd like to see what you did there. Joseph P. Ryan.
Joseph P. Ryan, that's correct.
He's not letting people grab his penis anymore. He's not doing the penis plex. And Rob Van Dam's almost a 50-year-old.
I think more wrestlers should wrestle in a long sleeve button up shirt.
Like they're coming out of a fucking Banana Republic commercial. And lastly, how do you feel about Sami Callihan's changed character now that he's returned? He's a hacker, and all he does is put his phone up and touch the screen. The screen's not lit up. I get what they're doing, but he's just, boop, it gets dark, he disappears.
I mean, does Triple H get credit on this for at all, or was this before his time running it? No, he would have been running NXT because that's what his Solomon Crow bit, wasn't it?
Was it? I didn't watch him back then. He
was a hacker in NXT. That was his gimmick.
Shit. So this is rehashed even?
And it was... it was a lame bit, and it didn't work, and there's a reason why he didn't work in NXT, and he obviously doesn't belong there, and he doesn't want to be there. But yeah, that's what his gimmick was in NXT. Go back and watch the episode.
I might have to.
Yeah.
But he only did one episode?
No, he was on there for a while. I think they tried to push. I think they tried to push him for like 6 months, and then he got hurt, and then he just fought a lot of jobbers, and it just never really worked. I'm not a. I watched one of the more recent episodes of Impact where Shamrock was running around and they got all these people with their masks. It didn't work for me. It's like OVE was great. They don't need him, but now I don't like it, and I thought he had too short of a title reign. I thought they put the title on Tessa too quickly, but that's
a whole other thing.
Yeah.
But just so you know, I see you. I see everything. I don't get what the purpose of that is, but okay. It's Sami Callihan.
Well,
fucking A. Interact with the show on Twitter at Blumpkin Show. That is at Blumpkin Show. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/Blumpkin and friends. We are on iTunes and on Podbean at blumpkinshow.podbean.com. For original music, go to soundcloud.com/BlumpkinMusic or search Blumpkin Music on YouTube. It's a picture of a little kitty with some fro up on its face. Thank you for joining us on this BWO WrestleCast, the Blumpkin World Order. I'm the Reverend Johnny Blumpkin.
I'm Rick James.
Good night.